So there's a phrase that David says in this video that had my wife punching the air. She was charging the television. I almost had to put her in a full Nelson to get her back on the couch because she was so enraged. She claims that this phrase is a part of the Cheater's Handbook. Me and my wife have a shared love language of watching trash TV, and Married at First Sight is like dumpster prime rib to us. We love it. Season 8 is wrapping up, and this season has one of the wildest cheating scandals I've ever seen. But what really stood out to me wasn't just the betrayal, it was how Michelle handled it. Because in reality TV, let's be honest, a lot of the confrontations typically look like this.
This is my birthday.
Thank you.
Do not say
You want to go, motherfucker? You want to go? Let's go. Let's go. You're a big pussy. You were my friend.
And honestly, I think we can learn something from her, so I wanted to break it down. We can see what happens, see what skills or things we can implement into conversation and confrontation. And yeah, I just want to see what we can take away from this. So there's a phrase that David says in this video that had my wife punching the air. She was charging the television. I almost had to put her in a full Nelson to get her back on the couch because she was so enraged. She claims that this phrase is a part of the Cheater's Handbook, and I would be curious if anybody else has heard this phrase. I'm going to point it out in the video. If you notice the phrase or notice what he's saying or how he's saying something, then you probably onto it as well. I didn't catch it, but she caught it. So I just wanted to put that in there.
I got a very interesting text message from you last night. What was that about? Last night, David texted me, "You are so damn fine. I want to eat you up." Like, he didn't reply back to that message at all. Like, he never ever texted me again after that message.
And I'll do my best to add context where it fits, because most likely you have not watched Married at First Sight or season 18. But the reason that this is so weird and so off-putting to Michelle is because they've had zero intimacy since their wedding. And the only intimacy, physical touch that they've had is they've shared a kiss or two, I think. You may kiss the bride, and then I think maybe a kiss or two at the reception. But since then, for the past 4 or 5 weeks, they have had zero intimacy. So that's why this text message raises her antennas. Something is off here.
And so there's tons of questions.
That was about food. My cousin Denise texted me, and I was like, I'd eat her up, the food that she had right now.
How is it about food?
She was holding food. She sent me a picture of food that they were eating because they invited me out, and I was like, I just want to eat you up right now because she had all the food.
Oh, so that wasn't even to me?
No, it was definitely not to you. You weren't with me.
Oh, why didn't you say that? Because I've been like thinking it was super weird all
no,
day.
yeah, my fault. I thought we'd talk about it when we were here. It wasn't a big deal. I was like,
And in later episodes, she starts to dive more into the concept of how did this text message get to me specifically. If you're looking at your phone, you're looking at a picture of quote unquote food and your cousin, how did you end up on my contact and then send me a message about something that you're supposedly looking at? So again, the explanation he's giving just doesn't make sense.
hello, man.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. You?
Good.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually want to bring something up.
Ooh.
That has been bothering me. The text message, like the "you're fine, I want to eat you up," or.
Okay. Thought we were gonna read our letters together, but obviously not.
To add context here, I think the challenge he's talking about is where each person in their marriage writes a letter to their younger self, and then they read it to their partner.
Do you think that's the right time to read our letters right now?
No, but that was the plan, but I didn't see this coming, so.
Well, I didn't see the text message coming either. And so I just want to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
Explain to me, because we kind of breezed past it. So I want to hear what it was again.
It was basically my cousin Denise sent me a picture of food. I told her, "Looks so good, I want to eat you up." I was supposed to say, "Looks so good, I want to eat it up."
That is weird. Do you not see that's weird?
What happened?
He has come up with a version of truth, or he has come up with a lie that he thinks is good enough, and that is what he's sticking to. He's sticking to his guns here, which is fascinating to hear someone just straight up admit that, well, that's what I have for you, and that's what I'm sticking with.
It's
My
weird
phone.
that you're saying that that's how you text your cousin.
Me and my cousins are big foodies. When it comes to food, we talk different. Like, I call her my baby. I call her my number one. But it's like, that's how a relationship that we have, and we talk like.
But usually food is like, the pronouns are as like it.
Usually, that's not how we talk. We're not usual people. We're a different family. But I'm telling you what it was. You can believe
Well,
it.
I'm letting you know.
And a little bit of a spoiler here, but I want to give you the full context of what happens later on down the road. Michelle actually contacts David's real cousin and asks for clarity and asks for truth. Did he actually send this text message? And luckily, Denise says, no, he did not send that text message, but he did ask me to cover for him. I don't know what it was for, but he called me or he texted me and said, can you please cover for me? So this is the smoking gun. This is the smoking text, or whatever you want to call it. This is her absolute proof that David has been talking to another woman behind her back while they're in this experiment.
I literally talked to your parents and your sister and told her I was not going to disrespect you. I have full respect for you, and I will never do that to you.
Okay. I don't believe that at all for one
If
bit.
you don't believe it, you don't believe it. I'm not going to sit here and try to change your mind and tell you this and tell you that. And you heard what I had to say. You're either going to accept it or not. End of story.
David.
You're asking questions. I'm giving you answers.
Okay.
And there it is. Those are the words that made my wife want to give David some sweet chin music. She was up at arms. I'm talking punch in the air, because she says that that phrase is a part of the Cheater's Handbook. And I'd be curious if this has been your experience, or if this has been something you've heard before from a liar is, well, this is the truth and you're just either going to believe it or not.
So where do we go from here? I'm just supposed to take your word on that now? And
I would appreciate if you did take my word, because that's the honest truth. Right now, I'm looking in your eyes like it wasn't for another woman. So I'll leave it at that, and I'm going to end with that. So I don't like to talk about this conversation anymore.
okay.
If we want to bring this up at another point in time and talk about it, you're more than
Sounds
welcome.
great. I'm sure it'll come up. But for the record, you're lying.
So I think the thing that we can all learn from even approaching a conversation or a difficult conversation is, she brought it up in a respectful manner. Hey, something is bothering me. Something is not sitting well with me. I just want answers. And of course, because David was lying, those answers did not sit with her. I think that says something about intuition. And I think maybe our gut does steer us in the proper direction sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to be paranoid and try and look for holes in everything that your partner is saying, but the answers that she was getting and the answers that he was giving were just filled with so much untruth that she could feel it. She could not, there is no other way for her to describe it as, you are lying to me. And he had no other way to communicate to her other than, I am lying. So maybe there is something in the air, or your gut feeling, or the universe, or whatever you want to say, can steer you in the right direction when your antennas or your red flags, your red flag-ometer starts to beep. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to spoil the full thing for you, but the person that he's actually texting is a bit closer than you might think. It isn't an ex, and he does come up with some other things to try and throw her off the scent of what's actually going on. And this is one of the craziest cheating scandals I've ever seen. Michelle absolutely stands her ground. She can tell that he is speaking so much untruth that she can feel it in her bones, and she chooses to continue in pursuit of truth. So I think that's something that's extremely admirable, and the way she continues to do it for the remaining episodes is just even more admirable. Again, my wife kept saying she's a better woman than I am, because she would have given David some sweet chin music straight up. Yep, we're gonna leave it there, and thank you for watching.